Hello and welcome to ChapterSkip. I'm Mark.
And I'm Joe.
And I'm Shaun.
And we're bringing you movie reviews with a twist.
And today we're looking at the movie 100 Bloody Acres. During this October period, we've done a vast array of horror and scary movies. We've covered slasher, possession and thriller, but we've yet to do a review for a comedy horror. So that's what we're going to look at today.
100 Bloody Acres is written and directed by Colin and Cameron Cairnes, and it's the first feature film.
Which is currently available on Blu-ray and DVD in the US and of course in its native Australia. In the UK the film was shown at this year's Fright Fest, but it's not currently available to buy other than on import.
If you fancy showing your support for this low-budget Aussie flick without parting with too much cash, you can check out the 100 Bloody Acres official Facebook page, link in our video description.
Go on, give it a like.
100 Bloody Acres centres around two groups of people. First of all we have the Morgan brothers, Reg and Lindsay, who own and operate their own unique fertilizer business.
Now the cast is made up of relative unknowns, although a few of the faces you see in this movie have popped up in some pretty big movies. For example, Damon Herriman, who plays Reg, starred alongside Leonardo DiCaprio in the Clint Eastwood directed film J. Edgar.
Reg's brother Lindsay is played by Angus Sampson, who played Tucker in both of the Insidious films. He is also set to star in the up-and-coming Mad Max movie.
The next group consists of a trio of youngsters on the way to a music festival.
We have Sophie, Wes and James, played by Anna McGahan, James Christian and Oliver Ackland, respectively. Unfortunately, their car breaks down around 20 minutes away from the festival, and the best thing that they can do so they don't miss out on all the music, booze, drugs and good times is to hitch a ride.
And this is where the two groups come into contact with each other.
Reg, being the kind-hearted soul that he is, decides to give a lift to Sophie, Wesley and James, although of course it turns out that he isn't quite as kind-hearted as he first appeared, and the trio is soon captured and tied up in a shed, where they get to experience firsthand exactly what goes into this unique fertiliser, which is made from all natural products, such as roadkill.
And by roadkill we don't mean just the odd kangaroo or possum, as they're not adverse to dumping the odd accident victim into the mulching machine either.
Sue's up for a cup of tea then.
Sounds good to me, mate.
I've been perfecting this new blend. It's awesome. Want to try it?
Yeah, alright, why the hell not?
Okay then, I'll be back in a jiffy. There you go guys. Mind your fingers, it's a bit hot.
Cheers, mate. Oh, Jesus Christ! That tastes like old tree bark and wine gums.
Oh, you're right. It tastes like a llama's ballsack.
Joe, this tastes like crap. What's in it?
Well, it's a homemade blend. Made of ground up corpses from past reviews. Well, I'm getting like a nice aroma of Munchkin from the Oz review, with a blend of George Lucas, and to top it off the intruder from your next review.
Oh yeah, the one that put his soul into a pair of scissors. I remember that. Oh, it tastes worse when you know what's actually in it.
I think it's great, son. I'll have yours then. And yours too. Reg seems to come into a few problems with his plan, trying to keep the group hostage.
As it turns out, he has a bit of a sweet spot for Sophie and doesn't really want to mulch her up. And of course there's his brother Lindsay, who has a few, shall we say, anger management issues and isn't the most stable of people at the best of times.
Now, with the trio coming to the realisation that they're not just there for a demonstration on the effectiveness of this homemade compost, they have to hatch a plan to escape. Otherwise they'll end up being blended in a barrel and sold to the local farmers and used as manure.
But that's not exactly an easy thing to do, especially when one of the group has partaken in some hallucinatory substances and is quite literally away with the fairies. Joe, I think you've had enough, mate. How many have you had anyway?
1, 6, 82.
Joe, seriously, I think you've had enough.
Nah man, this shit's good. Here, try some. Here, try some. Try some.
No!
Go on man, try some.
Get that friggin' cup out of my face, you goon!
Damn it, he's locked himself in his shed again. What do you reckon he does in there anyway?
Well, it says his private time, so do you reckon he's...
Oh, no. Should we leave him to it? Dirty bugger. Come on!
Best blend yet! Now this is definitely the definition of comedy horror, more than horror comedy.
Yeah, there was definitely more comedy than horror throughout the story, but I thought that it called for it. It made light of the death scenes in a way that was similar to films like Stitches, and if I had to make a few comparisons to other movies in this genre, I'd say that it felt like Black Sheep in its feel and humour, probably because they're from the same continent. It also felt like some of Peter Jackson's earlier movies like Bad Taste and Brain Dead, with its absurdness in places mixed in with a low-budget feel to the gore.
What first attracted me to this film was the trailer, which reminded me a little bit of the awesome Tucker and Dale vs Evil. And so after that I was hoping for a great little comedy horror that had a fair sprinkling of blood thrown in there too. And I wasn't disappointed.
Other things of note are the fact that it highlights just how spacious the boot of the average Australian car is, as you certainly can't fit that many bodies in an English car without chopping them up first or having to buy a people carrier.
Believe me, I've tried.
There are some nice little moments in the film too, including some funny lines, one of which in particular actually had me laughing aloud. And there's also an ongoing thing about the brothers having a radio commercial being played on the air, and that worked really well and helped to add a bit more to their characters. Actually, Sean, do you fancy a proper cup of tea?
Yes, please. None of that ground up munchkin for me, thanks.
No, alright then. None for you. You've had enough already. Back a minute.
Hello? No, this is Sean speaking. Yep, that's the one. ChapterSkip. Should be today, yeah? Oh, it's about to come on! Oh, excellent! Yeah. Thanks for calling.
Who was that, Sean?
Oh, it's just the guy from the radio station. Our advert's about to come on. Mark! Switch the radio on, our advert's about to come on.
Oh, nice. Alright, mate.
Stick around, you dick, right after this.
Oh, found it. Can you hear it, guys?
Yes, coming through loud and clear.
Hello and welcome to ChapterSkip. I'm Mark.
And I'm Joe.
And I'm Sean.
ChapterSkip. Movie reviews with a twist.
Oh, that was awesome. Tee up, Sean.
Okay, we're back live on the radio. Did those guys actually pay for that? What a bunch of dicks.
I went into this movie completely blind. I'd heard nothing about it, who was in it, or even what the plot was about. And this may have worked out in my favour, as I had absolutely no preconceived notions of what the movie was like. And I have to say, I enjoyed it. It was fun, comical, and slightly out there as well. There were things wrong with it when you look at it through a magnifying glass, but when looked at on the whole, it entertained me. And that's all I asked for in a movie. So this definitely gets my recommendation, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did.
To me, the real secret ingredient of this film was the dark, twisted humour, plus a strong, simple storyline. Also, the gore was awesome, so it definitely got my vote.
The film had a great mix of comedy and horror, although for me the most horrifying moment wasn't a gory one, but one that involved Lindsay eating a very out-of-date fish supper. All in all, I enjoyed the movie, and the whole thing whizzed by in what seemed like no time at all. If you like comedy horrors, then I suggest that you give this a go, as it's 85 minutes of blood, bone and fun, and I'm happy to add it to my collection, and I recommend that you do too.
Thanks for watching this 100 Bloody Acres movie review. If you enjoyed this review, then please make sure you subscribe to ChapterSkip. Tune in each Wednesday and Saturday for the latest video. We would love for you guys to get involved in ChapterSkip by posting any thoughts or feelings on today's review and the film too in the comments section. You could also fire those thoughts over to our Facebook and Twitter page. Any link you'll need will be in this video's description. Thanks.
Have popped up in some pretty big movies. Through Damon Herriman, who plays Reg, James Christian, and Oliver Ackland.
Decides to give the lift to... gives the lift.
Give a lift to me.
Give a little lift to me.
Now, this is definitely the definition of a horror comedy, and not a comedy horror comedy.
That had its own fair share of sprinkling bollocks. My lines again.
Sprinkling bollocks. Here, have some bollocks.
Sprinkle of bollocks.
Here, have some bollocks.
Then did you see the bollock fairy?